Ladies and gentlemen, I have some sad news. Eric Swalwell has ended his bid and campaign for the Democratic nomination for the President of the United States. I'm requesting a moment of silence.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
All right, stop the music. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. Or if you want, you can call me Marty, but everyone calls me P. Dog, so that's okay. Hello, everybody. It is a wonderful Tuesday morning, and yes, we have some sad news. The congressman from California has decided to pull his shingle off the roof of the caving building. Yes, Eric Swalwell is ending his bid for president of the United States. And it was announced, I think, yesterday. Swalwell drops out of the presidential race, announces House re-election bid. So he's going to run for the House again out of California. Representative Eric Swalwell, Democrat, California, dropped out of the 2020 Democratic presidential primary on Monday, making him the first major candidate in the crowded 2020 primary field to end his presidential bid and winning me $50 in the office pool of which candidate would drop out first. Woo-hoo! I knew he was gone as soon as he started running. But anyway, so let's see. Says Swalwell, we have to be honest about our candidacy's viability, as he told reporters at a press conference at his campaign headquarters in Dublin, California. Today ends our presidential campaign, but it is the beginning of an opportunity in Congress with a new perspective shaped by the lives that have touched me and my campaign over the past few months, he continued. The Hill reported earlier that on Monday that Swalwell planned to put an end to his campaign, citing a source close to him. The lawmaker had canceled Independence Day events in New Hampshire last week, sparking the initial speculation about his plans to take his ass home. Anyway, Swalwell was mainly just famous for being one of the most adamant impeach Trump people. Also, his whole part of his campaign was he wanted to confiscate guns, made no bones about it. In fact, he was going to buy back guns, basing it on the very, very successful campaign in New Zealand to buy back guns, where they actually bought back a total of less than 100 guns in the entire country. But hey, I digress. Swalwell said he was impressed by the 2020 presidential primary field and had not yet made a decision on who he would endorse, though he joked that he would happily support U.S. soccer star Megan Rapinoe after the team won the Women's World Cup on Sunday. If Megan Rapinoe gets in the race, I think I'm going to endorse her, Swalwell joked during his press conference. Lagged in the polls. This article goes on to talk about how he lagged in the polls and made gun control his big thing. Lagged in the polls is a very, very, very a gross understatement. He consistently polled at 0% among the 24 candidates. Now 23, but wait. We are back at 24 because apparently Tom Steyer, the billionaire activist who has pushed for President Trump's impeachment, may still enter the race, according to the Atlantic. And so, doom, 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 another one bites the dust, doom, doom, another one bites the dust, and another one's. Well, that's only one gone, but how's this gonna go? Anyway, hey, let's say good morning to everyone in the chat. Good morning. Oh, now, before I even got started, Rolling Bear and Necrosol Collins almost came in simultaneously before we started. So good morning. They get the bell for being here. Oh, what the hell is that? My bell didn't work. There we go. My bell is working. And good morning, Sheograth, Vanilla Bear, Max Del Rio, Sarah. Vanilla Bear, I was just watching Bear. And he was on for like 30 seconds. Apparently, Bear got a warning, one of those content warning strikes, and it was really weird. I was listening to him talk about that, and it was like, what the hell is he? What? This don't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. There was nothing objectionable, no nudity, nothing. I mean, he had some copyrighted music or something, but geez. Anyway, I'm going to tell him later. I'm probably going to listen to him this afternoon. He's on with, the Redneck Radio, and I might have to tell him to fight that. Anyway, good morning, Vanilla Bear. Good morning, Max Del Rio, Sarah. Good morning, Maniac Man, Seamus Derby, Maddie, Yin Wolf. Hey, I haven't seen you for a while. Welcome. Good to see you back. And Smarty Bear, you're here. Now, were you here yesterday? Just out of curiosity. Good morning, Jason Burns, also, and Chicago Mike. Smarty Bear, I've been thanking you while you haven't been here. But I don't know if I thanked you while you were here. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat from the other day. I wanted to wait and make sure I acknowledged you while you were in the chat. I'm so happy that you did that. Very greatly appreciated. Everything helps as we're trying to replace some equipment. I am going to upgrade this computer so I can do some things. Hopefully this isn't lagging too bad. I haven't checked. Are we pretty smooth today? I changed the background and I got rid of the moving background, so it looks like we're doing okay. All right. So anyway, Swalwell, that dude, come on, man. Nobody on the planet thought Swalwell was going to be doing anything in the race. But again, let's talk about Tom Steyer now. Tom Steyer is telling his allies he's running for president. The billionaire Democratic donor who has led a movement to impeach Donald Trump could be the latest to join a crowded field of candidates. Now, I don't get it. I don't know what exactly Tom Steyer thinks he's going to do to get what makes him think that out of all these candidates running, that he should be able to knock them out. But you know what? There is one now. Well, let's read this real quick. Then I got a little commentary on a candidate who I thought was going to get into the race, but because of recent events, may not. And we'll talk about that for a minute. Let's see. But before I do that, let's do some shilling. Thank you, Sarah, who put my Streamlabs link in the chat. But the Morning Night Live is brought to you by the people who watch the Morning Night Live, and that would be you guys. If you can, right down here, there's the share button. Make sure you share this out. I didn't tweet it out, but Necrosol tweeted out for me this morning. So now I am going to let's see. Let me repeat that tweet. Oh, goodness. Dar and Angel Tibbs. Oh, let's see. There's a bunch of you here. Okay, hang on. Let me retweet. I'm going to retweet Necrosol, who put that out for me. And then, let's do it this way. I'm going to do it so that... Wait, I messed that up. Come on. There we go. Retweet with comment. And we are live. Whoops, I can't spell live. First day with the new fingers. All right, there we go. There's that, and we are live. Thank you again, Necrosol, for tweeting out the show this morning. And there you go. Let me see if I can do something here real quick. Sometimes watching this show is like watching a great painter in action, like Leonardo da Vinci, right? Oh man, you know what? I'm just happy you're here. You know what? And thank you so much for tweeting it out too. here, but let's see. Today, okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put this one. We'll put this one in the chat, though. Copy and paste. There you go. If you want to, or you can just hit the share button and tweet it out. Also, if you hit the like button, or dislike. Somebody hit a dislike the other day. Hey, I don't care. It's still engagement. The dislike, if you like me, great. Hit the like. If you don't like me, hit the dislike. But if you keep coming back, hit something, please. Hit something. And then also, when we, if you want to do super chats, I do those through Streamlabs, which is in the description down below. Or you can look at Sarah's link that she put in the chat. Or you can do donations through that too. That all goes through PayPal right now. I'm trying to get my credit card link to work again. For some reason, they made it stop working. So, but you can still do credit cards through the PayPal account. All right, let's get back into Tom Steyer. Good morning, Truck and Bear. Welcome back, Neckersall. I know you left for a second, but now you're back. Good to have you back. And I think that's everybody. Okay, back to Tom Steyer. So the presidential campaign announcements may not be over yet, with the latest potentially coming from a person who ruled out a run just a few months ago. Billionaire investor Tom Steyer, who in the past decade has been both the top Democratic donor in the country and the prime engine for pushing for the impeachment of President Donald Trump, appears to be ready to become a Democratic candidate number 26. Actually, it'll be number 25 because our boy Eric Swalwell just dropped out. Or not, maybe it is 20. I don't know. Last week in San Francisco, Steyer told staffers that two progressive organizations he funds need to impeach and Next Gen America that he is launching a 2020 campaign and that he plans to make a formal announcement this Tuesday. Steyer has been kind of a one-trick pony for a while. He's all about impeaching Trump. He is definitely the number one Democratic funder. He's been funding campaigns all over the country. Interesting. Let's see. Now, this is interesting, though, but don't take it to the bank yet. Steyer had told people to expect his presidential run in January, and he had even scheduled a trip to Iowa for kickoff, only to change his mind in the final days before the launch. That resulted in what was perhaps a first in presidential politics, a trip to Iowa to announce that he was not running. Instead, Steyer hosted a town hall for his Need to Impeach group, which currently has 8 million members and in the space of 2 years has become the largest progressive leading organization in the country. They overtook MoveOn.org. That's pretty amazing. Similarly, Steyer has been expected to announce a U.S. Senate run in 2016 and a gubernatorial run in 2018, both for California. He even recorded a commercial for the latter run before pulling the plug. Multiple people on his staff learned that he was not running then from public reports. So, yeah, I don't know what Steyer can add to the race that isn't already there. It's kind of weird. But, hey, there's still one person I think, well, until the events of this weekend, there's one person who I thought possibly would also put their hat into the race and maybe late before the third Democrat debate. And I don't know why I thought this, but just based on some of the things that this person has been doing over the last few months, doing a lot of appearances and talking and doing interviews. And that person would be Hillary Rodham Clinton. And for some reason, I just got this feeling that she's just waiting in the wings, watching the current 26 or 25 or 31 or however many candidates there are, watching them kind of battle and implode and whatever. There's a bunch. I'll tell you what, there's about 15 of those candidates who could drop out right now and no one would bat an eye. But I got this feeling for some reason that Hillary Clinton was going to run until this past weekend. Now, what happened this past weekend has been fascinating to watch. Now wait, I had an article up here. Hang on. Oh, what happened to it? Oh, good Lord. I had an article ready too, and I just blew it. Well, anyway, as you know, or you may or may not know, the billionaire Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested in New York. Apparently the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney's Office is going to do. He's being charged with more charges. Now he's already registered as a Class 3 sex offender in the state of New York. I think he also has some issues in, really early FTG for him. Can I get an FTG for Jeffrey Epstein? He's already has problems in Florida, but this is interesting because he got this really, really weird sweetheart deal from the prosecutors in the case, where he has he literally has 12-hour-a-day work release of some sort. So there's an article. Now this article is it's Ace of Spades, so it's here. Hang on, let me open this link in a new tab. All right, so and this is just kind of an aggregating of the story. Bill Clinton's orgy buddy Jeffrey Epstein arrested for underage sex trafficking. For years, rumors and allegations have been making the rounds about billionaire Jeffrey Epstein. According to these accusations leveled to him by women and girls who say they were his victims, Epstein has been involved in sex trafficking, especially of minors. He also, his accusers say, has held young women and girls as personal sex slaves. Although Epstein appeared to be protected by some very influential politicians, it now seems that his alleged misdeeds have finally caught up with him. According to multiple law enforcement sources, the Daily Beast website reports. How the hell did the Daily Beast break this story? But anyway, he was arrested on Saturday and will appear in New York court on Monday to be charged with sex trafficking. Now, this is all pretty well known if you've been paying attention to the news the last couple of days. Saturday's arrest by the FBI NYPD Crimes Against Children Task Force comes about 12 years after the 66-year-old financier essentially got a slap on the wrist for allegedly molesting dozens of underage girls in Florida. And that's the one where he got this really lenient sentence, but there is some interesting things about that we'll talk about in a minute. There was a hell of a thread on Twitter about this. And what happened here? Let's put this back in line here. The new indictment, which according to two sources will be unsealed Monday in Manhattan, it was unsealed yesterday in a federal court, and reportedly alleged that Epstein sexually exploited dozens of underage girls in a now familiar scheme, paying them cash for massages and then molesting or sexually abusing them in his Upper East Side mansion or his palatial residence in Palm Beach. Epstein will be charged with 1 count of sex trafficking of minors, 1 count of conspiracy to engage in sex trafficking of minors, which could put him away for a maximum of 45 years. Now, I'm pretty sure... According to those in the know, some of Epstein's employees and associates actively recruited the girls for his abuse. Some of the victims have ended up being recruiters themselves. Note, the girls were as young as 14, and Epstein knew they were underage. Fascinating. So this thread, and this is the thread he's talking about, this interesting thread notes that Jeffrey Epstein received his get-out-of-jail-free card from none other than the Robert Mueller-led FBI. So let's take a look at that thread here. Wait a minute, it's the wrong one here. Oh, what the hell? Here, let's find it. Sorry. Let's open that one in a new tab, and we'll put it on the screen. Oh, well, anyway. That's a different story. Anyway, this thread from 2018 about possible connection between Jeffrey Epstein and Mueller's FBI is enlightening. Now, what's funny, what's weird about this, so you know that there's all these people, I've been watching people on Twitter talk about this all day, and a lot of people are calling him Trump's friend because Trump knew him too, and there's a picture of him and Trump together. A lot of people are calling him Bill Clinton's friend. A lot of people are calling him X, Y, and Z's friend. And one of the most interesting things I was hearing about this is that, well, and this is from someone more kind of on the Democrat camp who's been saying, well, a lot of people on the right and left are talking about this, hoping that their enemies may be caught up in a scandal. However, they said, you know what? Be careful because some people you like may be getting caught up in this too. Don't. Epstein's got all the names. He knows where all the bodies are buried. They've had a search warrant of his place. They've got things on, CDs, discs, whatever, DVD discs. They got a whole bunch of stuff that they haven't put out in the public yet. This could be just about anything. Now, an interesting. Okay, anyway, here we go. Every once in a while, we come across a thread that, and truly speaks for itself. And this thread from Technofog, excuse me, from May 2018 is one of those threads. And a possible connection between Jeffrey Epstein and Mueller's FBI could be more important now than ever. Let's take a look. So they're showing this thread here. This is, let's see, what is it? It doesn't say who it is, but it's case ID, something pending. They highlighted this thing, Florida. Epstein has also provided information to the FBI as agreed upon. Case agent advised that no federal prosecution will occur in this matter as long as Epstein continues to uphold his agreement with the state of Florida. Case agent also advised that no further forfeiture assistance will be required for the case. Case agent is requested to contact Ryder in the event this matter moves forward on a federal whatever that is. So wait a minute. Pedophile Jeffrey Epstein is an informant for Mueller's FBI from the May 24th, 18 FBI Vault release. This is WikiLeaks, I think, put this out. Epstein has also provided information that the FBI has agreed upon. Is that why he escaped serious charges for molesting over 20 girls? And then let's see, something down here. I can't see this, but here it is. Here's the thing. I'm seeing nothing in Epstein's 2007 plea deal with the Department of Justice that required him to provide information to the FBI. See pics. This begs the question of whether there was a separate agreement still undisclosed with the FBI, and they highlight this. It's hard to read here. Let's see. I might be able to open that up. Here we go. The government did not inform the victims of the non-something agreement until after Epstein entered his plea, because the Attorney General guidelines for victim and witness assistance provided that CVRA rights did not it's the right of victims to be involved in a plea agreement, did not apply unless there was an offense charged in a federal court. Okay, so they made this deal kind of on the side. Relatively important dates. Epstein signs the non-prosecution agreement on September 27, 2007. On 10/31/2007, internal emails show that FBI agents still had not interviewed all the victims. Fascinating. February 2018, 5 months after the plea deal was reached, FBI agents still haven't interviewed all the victims or witnesses. FBI agents haven't seen all the physical evidence, and that's this box here. Now, what does it have to do with Mueller? The case was being run from D.C. Spring 2008. Emails between FBI agents and local assistant U.S. attorneys reveal continued delays in getting the case to a grand jury due to the failure to receive a decision from D.C., a.k.a. the FBI Mueller's office. Not necessarily Mueller, but his office. Good point, Manic Man. About Trump's... let's talk about Trump's the people talking about Trump here. So it's funny because I saw, was it Jeff Holiday? Somebody had a tweet the other day. They referenced an article. They referenced an article saying that, this, because apparently Epstein, what happened? Epstein was at Mar-a-Lago, and some friend or some high bigwig there had their 13 or 14-year-old daughter there. And apparently Epstein started hitting on her. And, there was all scuttlebutt, and Mar-a-Lago, the manager or Trump or somebody, Mar-a-Lago kicked him out. Okay. And there was an article about it. And then what happened is after they kicked him out, Trump and or the Mar-a-Lago management went to the authorities and said, "Hey, here's what happened to get this. This guy did this. We're not going to have him here anymore." But and it was right there in the article. And whoever made this tweet was like, "Oh, you knew he was going to molest a girl, but you didn't call the police." And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, who do you think the authorities are, you moron? But anyway, so yeah, Trump kicked him out after that, and they banned him from Mar-a-Lago, and they were the one entity of all the people that were, all the powerful people that, talked to the FBI. They didn't have to subpoena him because he volunteered to give any and all information they had about anything that Epstein was doing. Trump, to his credit, was the one who actually was a very important source for the FBI at the time. And that's all public record. You can find the articles. I've been reading about this for the last day or so just to get the story. So anyway, yes, Trump did fly on Epstein's plane one time from Miami to New York. We don't know the details of that. But unlike former President Clinton, who was on the flight logs 26 times, including trips to Epstein's private island, and also often without his security detail, that's a completely different animal. So the comparisons are not comparable. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, the FBI was directly involved with D.C. meetings with the Department of Justice about Epstein. Did Mueller attend those meetings? We don't know. But let's see. It looks like we have an answer on Epstein's cooperation with the FBI DOJ, thanks to great reporting by the Miami Herald. The Department of Justice wanted to prosecute executives instead of the child molester, which, wow. So here's the New York Post story. Pedophile millionaire dodged harsh sentence by ratting out Bear Stearns execs. Multimillionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein secretly served as a key federal witness against two hedge fund managers around the time he cut his sweetheart deal that let him avoid federal child sex trafficking charges and served just 13 months in a Florida jail. According to a new report Wednesday, a year-long investigation by the Miami Herald turned up records that show Epstein, who was one of the fund's largest investors, cooperated in the prosecution of a pair of executives at now defunct Bear Stearns financial firm and received valuable consideration for providing investigators with unspecified information. So part of his sweetheart deal is, ran out the Bear Stearns guys, but wait a minute, Mueller, really? We're gonna let a sex offender? I mean, seriously, dude. 20 girls at that particular time. I don't know. Wait, what now? You are not depressed, right? I mean, the Clintons. Yeah, man. Let me put it this way, okay? I want nothing. I want nothing to do with the Clintons. I don't necessarily. Well, originally, I don't know that I. Do I have ill will towards them? I don't. I want them nowhere near our government. I just don't. Sarah, make a deal with one guy, get a bigger fish. But you know what? That whole Bear Stearns thing, isn't that the one that isn't that the one that Mueller? There was one of those cases where Mueller basically just railroaded some people, and I don't know if that's the Bear Stearns case or not. But dirty deal. Mueller is an interesting animal. Okay, first of all, you know he's one of the main testimonies during the Iraq. Leading up to the Iraq War, saying that we have definite, evidence of the Iraqis not giving up their weapons of mass destruction, while he could not look at them in the eye while he was saying it. Now we have this. We're gonna get into that article too if I have time. I may not get into Twitter trends today. I got a lot to talk about. I'll have to find this Real Clear Politics article. But now we have this Mueller report that he's allowed, his team of Democrats to write. That's really it's so much of it is just innuendo and repeating key phrases that really mean nothing, but are great ways to put doubt into people's minds. There's all kinds of stuff like that. But anyway, back to this. Back to Epstein. He's man, dudes. Anyway, here's the thing. A lot of people are getting caught up in this. I mean, it's not just Trump and Clinton. Alan Dershowitz. There's some celebrities. There are celebrities kind of implicated in this thing. That female celebrities too. Like some of you would think were part of the Me Too deal. But anyway, and by the way, there's a quote from Donald Trump about Clinton in 2016, and he's talking about Bill Clinton, saying, "Nice guy, had a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems." Well, if you've been on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 26 times and went to the island without your security detail, where he is known to have underage girls kind of living there as sex slaves, and then you're a Bill Clinton? Mr. I did not have sex with that woman. Or no, excuse me. I misquoted him. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Well, she had some sexual relations with you, right, Bill? It doesn't matter. It depends on what the meaning of is. But anyway, I'm talking about the Clintons. There are some people who hate when you talk about the Clintons, but my God, they got away with so much crap. It's amazing. Anyway, so, all right, moving on from, the only problem I have this gigantic monitor. It's really a small TV. I have this monitor here, and then I have this monitor here. This one's an actual monitor, nice and clear, easy to read. This one's a TV that I'm just using as a monitor, and I sometimes it pays me to tell which tabs I even have open. All right, so let's see. There was one more article on Epstein that I wanted to bring up. Do I have time for that? All right, hang on. Oh my gosh, people are still talking about that damn soccer pay gap too. We talked about that yesterday. I'm not going to talk about that again. Define the word is, please. Yeah, how about that? It depends on what the meaning of the word is. Well, that was, here's what if you don't remember what that was about. So, in some of his answers on the questionnaires when they were asking him about Monica Lewinsky, and he was talking something about, the question was something about is this happening? Meaning, is this happening at this moment? Well, of course it's not happening at this moment. So they could answer truthfully because, I don't know, because it was happening in the past. It wasn't happening now, and that's kind of how they got into that whole thing. All right, let's see. Oh, but here's the thing. So this Jeffrey Epstein thing, and the reason I mentioned Hillary Clinton earlier, I was thinking she was getting to the race, but I don't know. I know for the fact the Southern District of New York, which is led by Preet, what's his name, Preet Bharara, who is a total Trump hating dude. You wonder if this Epstein case is coming up because they're trying to find some kind of dirt on Trump. And I know that because if you look at left of center publications and broadcasting places, those they're all drooling at the prospect of having this something with Trump. And they haven't been able to get Trump on Russia. They haven't been able to get him with claims that he sexually harassed and or touched women or assaulted women. They haven't been given that. But so that and it's funny because if I had my dude Hard Bastard on here a few weeks ago, and he's been making this prediction for about 6 months now, going, they're not getting anything, so the next thing they're going to try to get him on is pedophilia, because they were trying to get him on incest with his daughter. I mean, they make implications, innuendo about that. And so the next thing, what's the next thing you try to get him on? You try to get him on pedophilia. And so, yes. No, did Hillary get a pedophile off in court? She got a child rapist off in court and laughed about it afterwards of how she did it. That's that. And as much as I want to say, that's not innuendo. That's not anything. That is public record. In fact, let me see if I can find that. Let's take her laughing about it. Hang on a second here. Let's see. Hillary. Let's see. Now, it's funny. It doesn't come up in the search engine because it doesn't fill in. It's just funny. Let's see if it comes up here. Oh, let's see if this is it. Now, she stands by the defense of a child rapist in the 70s. Hang on a second here. Let me put this up put up a YouTube window here. Oh, this is on.
You're 12 years old. You went through a vicious, violent rape. You were in a coma as a result for 5 days, stitched up. As a result, you can't have children?
99% chance that I can't.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much saying no.
Yeah. And you had that. You learned that at the time.
Yes, the doctor came
right.
in and told me that before I was released.
Mm-hmm. Walk us through what happened.
All right, before I get that's not the one I wanted to check out.
In Europe and also straight to camera, so that's interesting. She
here we
answered
go.
this question during her swing through Europe as part of her book tour. She fielded questions from readers on Mumsnet, which is a leading British parenting website visited mostly by women. She talked about contraceptive rights, guns, advice for young women, and she also commented on this rape case. One reader asking her, as a lawyer, you defended the rapist of a 12-year-old girl, calling the victim, quote, emotionally unstable, and saying that girls have a tendency to, quote, exaggerate or romanticize sexual experiences, especially when they come from disorganized families. The question was, any comments? And here's what Clinton said.
When I was a 27-year-old attorney doing legal aid work at the law school where I taught in Fayetteville, Arkansas, I was appointed by the local judge to represent a criminal defendant accused of rape. I asked to be relieved of that responsibility, but I was not, and I had a professional duty to represent my client to the best of my ability, which I did. He later pled guilty to a lesser included offense. When you're a lawyer, you often don't have the choice as to who you will represent, and by the very nature of criminal law, there will be those who you represent that you don't approve of, but at least in our system, you have an obligation, and once I was appointed, I fulfilled that obligation.
Now, Clinton does not address the part of the question about how she challenged the victim's mental state, instead emphasizing that she was doing her job. Conservative outside groups opposed to a Hillary Clinton run in 2016 have highlighted this entire episode as basically saying that it's counter to her image as a champion.
The thing is, though, here's the thing, though. And now it's not on here. This is the one where she laughs. I'm looking for that one. The laughing one was back in the 70s. No, I know that. And in fact, let's see if it's there. Maybe here it might be this one right here. Let's see. Here we go, right here.
It was a fascinating case. It was really an interesting case. This guy was accused of raping a 12-year-old who was the daughter of the family he was living in Springfield. He lived on the side of the tracks in Springfield. Of course, he claimed that he didn't do all this stuff. He took a lie detector test. I had to take a polygraph, which he passed, which forever destroyed my faith in polygraphs.
That's the one right there. So she says right there, if you can't hear it, he took a lie detector test. I had him take a polygraph, which he passed, which forever destroyed my faith in polygraphs. And then she laughs. So, and this is back, so she knew that he was guilty. That's amazing. But anyway, enough about her. Enough about Hillary. But anyway, so I thought, until this weekend, I thought, there's all these people in the Democratic race. But I got a feeling that Hillary Clinton is going to throw her hat in at the last minute and take all the air out of the room. Now I'm not so sure. I don't know if this thing with Jeffrey Epstein is a shot across the bow at Trump, which I'm sure it is. But it may also be a shot across the bow at the Clintons. Because a lot of people on the Democratic side of the Democratic side are also tired of the Clintons, to be honest with you. And I think they're ready for a passing of the guard, because the Clintons basically ran the Democratic Party in the last election cycle. They not only did they ran it, they controlled the money. The Democratic National Committee basically gave them control over a lot of the money, and they were raising money, but they were, they obviously the Democratic National Committee put the thumb on the scales on her behalf. And the funny thing, you remember those WikiLeaks things that the DNC had revealed when WikiLeaks revealed all that stuff? Remember how we never talk about what was in those emails, the DNC stolen emails, the ones that the Russians supposedly hacked. Got another story on that one too. That the Russians supposedly hacked. It told you that the DNC had their thumb on the scales for Hillary Clinton. It told you that they, the superdelegates and the whole DNC National Committee was in the tank for Hillary during the primaries. That Donna Brazile was leaking. They find out Donna Brazile is leaking questions. It caused Debbie Wasserman Schultz to step down as the chairman of the Democratic National Committee because they were cheating Bernie Sanders. Now, maybe that's something the Russians wanted to do. The Russians just had to come out and tell you that, if the Russians did it, they're going to go hack the DNC to tell the world that the DNC and Hillary Clinton are cheating Bernie Sanders. I'm sure that was their purpose in life. So I don't know. But anyway, I think this whole Jeffrey Epstein is a shot across the bow. I just do. All right, let's move on. Let me check. Let's close that. Another interesting story that came out. Now, I just saw this morning, and it is trending on Twitter. Hang on a second here. Get rid of Swallow as well. Let's see. Check my notes again. Oh man, I got in a little Twitter spat. Did I tell you about that? No, that I didn't. Okay, let's get into this little Twitter spat. Not a spat, but I had some questions. Okay, because yesterday we talked about the article. There was that trending thing, justice for Elijah, where this kid in I want to say Peoria, Arizona. He was at a gas station, had his music playing loud, and this white dude who got out of prison came and killed him, slit his throat, and then told the police that it was something about rap music, and he felt threatened around people around. And this dude was give me an FTG for whatever this dude's name is. I can't remember his name, but the killer who killed the kid for the rap music. Anyway, one of the phrases that at least Black Twitter kept using yesterday, the known white supremacist, known white supremacist. Now, this guy is a guy who just gotten out of jail. What? Ross Perot died? What? Is that true? Ross Perot died. All right, we'll talk about it. We'll have to look that one up. Oh, yep, he's trending right now. Rest in peace, Ross Perot. We will get into Twitter trends today. So the story, everyone on Black Twitter was saying known white supremacists. Now, I went and looked at several different stories, and I showed you the one from the local television station, and they never mentioned anything about this guy being a white supremacist. So I'm like, okay, where's this coming from? Well, I figured maybe Tariq Nasheed had tweeted something or whatever, but somebody somewhere said, described as a known white supremacist, so then everyone on Black Twitter was calling him a known white supremacist. And then yesterday, in the afternoon, I came home and I get this tweet from my friend Sophane. Now, I'm gonna say it because I say it every time. There's not a whole lot of us here, so it's not like you guys are some of the most cool and respectable people around, but I'm going to say it anyway. Please don't go at Sophane or harass him or whatever. You can go and answer his tweets, but don't, harass him just because I said something about him on the internet. You know what? I respect Sophane. I consider him a internet friend, so to speak. And I just think we disagree on certain things. We agree on certain things. So anyway, so he puts out this tweet. A known white supremacist stabs a kid at Circle K for listening to rap music in his car. And it's barely a blip on my Twitter feed. But Antifa's concrete milkshakes were everywhere for a damn week. I don't understand how people aren't seeing this pattern. Now, I don't know what pattern he's talking about. I'm still trying to figure that out, but there's something curious about this. When he put a known white supremacist, I'm like, I haven't seen anywhere where they've even described this guy as a white supremacist, and he may be some racist asshole, and probably is, but I don't know. But there's nowhere in any article I read about this, including on The Root. Now, The Root. You would expect them to be calling him a white supremacist right from the get, but they didn't. And so I was just first, and also, so he's saying it's barely a blip on my Twitter feed. Well, when I read this story yesterday on this show, it was the number 3 trending item on Twitter. So it was all over the Twitter feed. Maybe it wasn't being talked about from him because the first I heard of the story was yesterday morning. The first a lot of people heard about it was yesterday morning. It was just starting to blow up on Twitter. So so you not seeing it on your Twitter feed doesn't mean a whole lot to me. And the other thing, it's a local story somewhere in Phoenix, Arizona. The reason the Antifa story blew up is because people were watching it live happen, and it was all over YouTube. So it was, this story popped up, yesterday morning, whenever, I don't even know when it happened. So, I'm sorry if I wasn't talking about something you saw that I hadn't seen yet. How the hell am I supposed to talk about? And in fact, by the time I'd seen this tweet, I'd already talked about it on the show yesterday. Y'all, if you were here yesterday, I talked about this yesterday. So anyway, but I was curious. I was curious about the way he wrote this. So I put, here's what I wrote back to him. I said, it started trending on Twitter this morning. Was it number 3 when I woke up? First I heard of it. Number 2, question, known white supremacist? Where did you get that from? It wasn't any news reports, including The Root, which you would think The Root would talk about it being known rights president. And number 3, he was charged with first-degree murder. Throw the damn key away this time, okay? Now, I got a little backlash from that. Not from your boy Pat, who was figuring this out. In fact, a couple people, whatever, nobody's defending the guy as a hero fighting against white genocide. Dude, should have never been let out of prison, okay? I put a little FTG there, a little support there. Now, this one wasn't in any news report, including The Root. Wonder why? Yeah, I'm wondering why, too. Because you said the word known white supremacist. Now, here's some of the backlash I got. This guy. Well, first of all, why do you guys always have the same profile picture? I have no idea what this dude's talking about. But here, this guy who killed a black guy for listening to rap music might not be a white supremacist. Now, I did not say that. I'm asking, where did you get the information that he was a white supremacist? So I said, that's not a quote, because you're not quoting me. That's not what I'm asking. But yeah, he might just be an asshole. He might just be a racist asshole. White supremacy is a ideology. I don't know that is he part of some group you've heard of? Is he some leader of the movement? Is he Richard Spencer's best friend? I'm asking you, where did you get the known white supremacist? Known as in known before this event occurred, and 2, white supremacist, someone who has a specific ideology called white supremacy. That's my question. And then, so the next guy, an asshole that finds black people and rap music threatening enough to kill over, so a white supremacist. Oh, well, yeah, maybe he's a dickhead. Maybe he's mentally disturbed. Maybe I don't know. I'm asking the damn question. And then somebody, I don't know why this tweet is not available. Maybe someone blocked me after this. So I'm asking that question. And in fact, let's see, where is it? So here's what I'm thinking. Wrong one. What am I doing here? That's the wrong one. Close that. Close that. Sorry. Give me a second here. So here's my thoughts on this. Come on. Okay. So I just kind of wrote this down. Now that the peanut gallery's weighed in, I want to get back to the original question. Known, the word known, describes something that is prior or common knowledge. And, quote, white supremacist, end quote, is the description of a specific ideology. Now, I'm thinking that maybe he knew something about the guy that other people didn't. Or did you write that because that's what was being said all over Black Twitter that morning, like a Tariq Nasheed thing? Does anyone know something that the news reports about this guy hadn't mentioned? Was he a member of a particular group? Is he involved in events or protests? Or is he just some run-of-the-mill racist-ass criminal who's scared of black people? When you think... and somehow he thinks the incident like this should garner special attention more than all the other murders of young black men over the past few months, but not by white people. But perhaps the man bites dog nature of the... but maybe what's interesting is the man bites dog nature of the crime. Because anytime a black man is killed by a police or by a white person, or even if the white person calls the police on a black person, that blows up all over Twitter. That blows up all over the world. It gets stories in Newsweek. But man, the kids shot, the two kids shot in North Minneapolis yesterday. You'll never hear about them because it happened in their neighborhood by people who look like them. But that is the number one cause of death among young men. Not young men, young black men. It's not even the top 10 for young white men, but the number one cause of death for young black men is murder. And that's why I get frustrated. I understand the Black Lives Matter movement. I completely understand it, okay? But that's the part that you never hear about. Those Black Lives Matter, they only matter if they're killed by a police or a white person. And I want all Black lives to matter. If you're going to say Black Lives Matter, let's make Black Lives Matter. Let's fix the problem where young black men are really getting killed. That's what bothers me about it. Black Lives Matter, it makes sense to me, but as far as, yes, you don't want, man. Let me go on. Let me move on. Anyway, I do hope they throw that asshole under the jail, or at least in prison. Or at least in a prison cell with one of my cousins. Okay? If you know what I mean. Put him in a cell with a brother. Let him get his ass beat for being a dumbass. Can I get an FTG for that guy? I know it's not FTG Thursday, but there's a whole lot of people to FTG today. No, yeah, you're exactly right. No lives matter, and it's unfortunate, and it's a universal truth. It really is. Oh man, it's crazy. But you know what? Here's the other thing though. Even when I say, okay, so the leading cause of death among young black men is murder or whatever. If you really think about it though, the violent crime rates are down everywhere. And also, from a percentage sense, there's 40. I'll just talk about black people. There's 40 million black people in America. Your chances of getting murdered are pretty slim, especially by a cop or a white guy, if you look at the statistics. But in general, even though it is the leading cause, young people don't die that often anyway. Unfortunately, the leading cause of death of young black men is murder. But even with that terrible stat, it's not. It's a very small percentage. Hello, Joys of Sorrow. I didn't even see his come in. Functional also. I haven't said hello yet. If anyone else is in that I haven't talked to yet. All right. So now, on that note, there's a couple. There's a couple ways I can go here. Michael Isikoff. There's an article on Yahoo by Michael Isikoff, who I don't trust as far as I can throw him. Okay? He's got an article about the Seth Rich conspiracy, saying that the origins, of course, of the Seth Rich conspiracy. Guess. Just guess. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds because I got a little bit of lag between the chat and what I read. The article is the true origins of the Seth Rich conspiracy theory, a Yahoo News investigation by Michael Isikoff. Guess where he thinks that conspiracy started. You got, you should be typing already. So just guess. Put it in the chat if you can guess. Trump predicted the outcomes. He could have been a paranoid crazy. Illuminati? No. Not Trump. No. Come on, y'all. What have they talked about for 2 years? What have they been talking about for 2 freaking years? Washington. In the summer of 2016, Russian intelligence agents secretly planted a fake report claiming that Democratic National Committee staffer Seth Rich was gunned down by a squad of assassins working for Hillary Clinton, giving rise to a notorious conspiracy theory that captivated conservative activists and was later promoted from inside President Trump's White House. A Yahoo News investigation has found Russian's Foreign Intelligence Service, known as the SVR, first circulated a phony, quote, bulletin, end quote, disguised to read as an intelligence report about the alleged murder of the former DNC staffer on July 13th, 2016, according to U.S. federal prosecutor who was in charge of the Rich case. That was just 3 days after Rich, 27, was killed in what police believed to be a botched robbery while walking home to his group house in the Bloomingdale neighborhood of Washington, D.C., about 30 blocks from the Capitol. Of course, it was the Russians. It's the Russia. This is trending on Twitter today. I'm not going to read the rest of the story. I just find it hilarious. Michael Isikoff's been involved in a lot of breaking BS, and it's going to be. And this is blowing up today. That's as far as I'm going to go in that article, though. I can't do it. I just can't. Now, I don't know. I have no idea. By the way, Seth Rich is a graduate from the same high school I graduated from in Omaha. Just a little, that's just a little trivia for you there. And I need another sip of this reparations coffee right now. Hey, everyone. Oh, Pete, I didn't see you here, too. Good morning, Grill and Pirate Pete. Nice to see you. It's hilarious. I'm going to read that article later. In fact, I'm going to move that tab right over there so it's there for later. I think it's hilarious, though. Everything's Russia, man. Holy shit. Let me, okay, Real Clear. Oh, I forgot. I was going to go to Real Clear Investigations. This one's good one, too. Real Clear Investigations. A couple good stories on Real Clear Investigations. One, let's see, where is it here? There's two good articles here on here right now. One about what they call insinuendo. Why the Mueller? I'm going to put this one I'm going to put both these articles in the chat. You can right click and bookmark them for later. They're really good articles. Why the Mueller report doth repeat so much, by someone named Eric Felton. There's a lot of holes in the Mueller report. It didn't really click in my head until I read some of these articles. It just seemed like, one, they were repetitive, and everything. Nothing was concrete in it, and that was the weird thing. They made so many insinuations, but didn't without really saying certain things happen. So here, the Mueller report should have been a knockout blow to anti-Trump forces who invested their hopes in the special counsel. With Robert Mueller's findings that the Trump campaign did not conspire with Russia to steal the 2016 election, and that there was no clear path to indicating the president for obstruction, the enterprise should have shuddered to a stop. Instead, those who were first dumbfounded by the special counsel report have since found reasons to be buoyed by it, by its grudging tone, its sly assertions resembling proof, and its insistence that not being found guilty should not be confused with innocence. Now I'm telling you what, that's the most incredible line of the thing. What's the word? Here, what's this line here? If you had to pick, here it is. If you had to pick a single sentence that captures the style and substance of Mueller's tome, you'd find it on page 2. A statement that the investigation did not establish particular facts does not mean there was no evidence of facts. What a garbage tone. What? Let's see what I saw. Oh, the fight. You're talking about the Disney fight? Is that what was going on here? Dude, that dude went off, and I got a feeling he's got. Are you talking about the business? Yeah, you are talking about the Disney flight, dude. That oh man, I just watched that last night. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I think he's. To be honest, if you've seen the Disney fight, I'm pretty sure that dude's a white supremacist. I'm just saying. I think he's a white supremacist. I'm just saying. Don't you think so? He's beating up black people, black women, black men. And Disney had no. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, just look up Disney fight. It'll pop up pretty easy. Disney had no security around there. That was a trip. I didn't get it. Anyway. All right, let's get back into this. The statement that the investigation did not establish particular facts does not mean that there was no evidence of those facts. And that's what's got the Democrats going. So let's just skip here a little bit. The first thing to note about the Mueller report is just how contentious it is. It isn't a set of findings so much as an assertion of what the findings might have been if only there had been more evidence. It's like a closing argument in a criminal case already dismissed for lack of evidence, but in which the prosecutor is determined to redeem what he can of his case. Mueller turns to a variety of strategies: hectoring repetition, the use of extraneous detail to add heft to a flimsy assertion, and a resort to insinuation and innuendo to prejudice the reader against those who have escaped the dock. Ever since the debunking of the Trump-Russia dirt paid for by the Democrats, do you know that? That whole thing was paid for by the Democrats, right? Compiled by the opposition firm Fusion GPS, government officials and conspiracists have insisted that the Steele dossier had nothing to do with launching the investigation. Anyway, the story is that the FBI flew into action after learning that Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos had made an alarming statement to an Australian diplomat in a London bar, telling him about Russia's intentions to interfere with the U.S. election. From the first page in his report, the special counsel is eager to establish the narrative that Papadopoulos, not Steele, sparked the initial investigation. Mueller writes that in May 2016, Papadopoulos had suggested to a representative of a foreign government... Wait, what? Why don't they just say Andrew Downer from Australia? Suggested to a representative of a foreign government that the Trump campaign had received indications from the Russian government that it could assist the campaign through the anonymous release of information damaging to Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. But it's not enough to say it once. Come page 6, Mueller writes, Papadopoulos suggested to a representative of a foreign government that the Trump campaign had received indications from the Russian government that it could assist the campaign through the anonymous release of information damaging to the candidate Clinton. Mueller repeats his claim nearly word for word again on pages 81, 89, and 93. At least page 192 offers a hint of variation. The FBI, quote, approached Papadopoulos for an interview because of his, quote, suggestion to a foreign government representative that Russia had indicated that it could assist the campaign through the anonymous release of information damaging to candidate Clinton. Hello, Johnny Hellcat. Such relentless repetition might be dismissed as lazy cut and paste writing, but repetition is an ancient and effective tool of rhetoric. The Greeks called it epimon. The Romans call it commeratio. It can be used subtly and powerfully, as in, Brutus is an honorable man, or it can be employed in a clumsy effort to pound home a weak claim, as Papadopoulos suggested that the Trump campaign, quote, what makes the claim weak? Okay, let's now I'm not going to go through this whole article. You can go through it. There's all kinds of things, but let's just talk about the Papadopoulos part. The problem starts with, quote, Papadopoulos suggested. Suggested? What exactly did he say? Suggested implies he expressed himself indirectly. The report's use of that squishy verb all 6 times it refers to the conversation is an admission that Papadopoulos did not directly make the explosive claim that allegedly spurred the FBI into action. The next part of the sentence is not only vague, but misleading. Quote, Papadopoulos suggested that the Trump campaign had received indications. What the fuck's an indication? This implies that information allegedly given to Papadopoulos, an advisor to the campaign, was shared with the entire campaign. Nope. This is especially misleading because the report later says it found no evidence that Papadopoulos told anyone else on the campaign about the emails. And then there's the descriptor, quote, received indications, end quote, which is even more amorphous than, quote, suggested, end quote. And, quote, indication, end quote, could be anything from light flashing Morse code to one of the grifters in the sting putting a finger on the side of his nose. If Papadopoulos was told something, why not simply write, he, quote, was told, end quote. The downside of the simple construction from a prosecutor's point of view is that it lacks the implication that something furtive and sneaky is going on. Quote, receiving indications, end quote, by contrast, sounds suitably shady. Where did those indications come from? The, quote, Russian government, according to the special counsel's report. Finally, a precise and concrete claim. Unfortunately, it is also false. The source of information was Joseph Misfood, whose name doesn't show up in the report, whom the special counsel describes as a, quote, London-based professor who had connections to Russia and traveled to Moscow in April 2016, end quote. There's a difference between someone with unspecified, quote, connections to Russia and the Russian government. So, yeah, that's funny. The indications came from the Russian government. No. They came from Professor Joseph Misfood, a London-based professor, not from the Russian government. The Mueller report makes another incorrect claim when it states the Russian government offered to assist, quote, assist the Trump campaign through the anonymous release of information that would be damaging to Hillary Clinton. There's no evidence that Papadopoulos said anything about a plan to, quote, assist Trump through anonymous action to the man in the London bar, whom the report oddly refers to as a representative of foreign government when everyone knows he's Alexander Downer. As Downer told the Australian newspaper in April 2018, Papadopoulos mentioned the Russians might use material that they have on Hillary Clinton in the lead up to the election, which may be damaging. It's funny because, okay, so now we know that, okay, Downer is, friends with Clinton, and this Misfood tells Papadopoulos that, hey, here's what I'm hearing. So it's kind of convenient. Okay, so Misfood tells him this stuff, and then all of a sudden he's talking to Downer, and he's like, they're drunk, and he's like, hey, did you hear about this? Anyone else hear about this thing? I mean, this professor told me that this is happening, blah, blah, blah. And Misfood, we find out, is also he's an American asset abroad. How convenient. Anyway, and that's all public record. I'm not talking conspiracy. This has all been it's been in journalist adventures in the U.S. This is nothing new. That it's just crazy. Put these corrections all together, and the special counsel's oft-repeated statement, quote, Papadopoulos suggested to a representative of foreign government that the Trump campaign had received indications from the Russian government that it could assist the campaign through an anonymous release of information that would be damaging to Hillary Clinton, end quote, should actually read, Papadopoulos said to Australian diplomat Alexander Downer that a professor who had traveled to Russia had told him Russia had damaging information about Hillary Clinton and might release it before the election. This latter version isn't just far more accurate of what Papadopoulos said, it's also far less suggestive of any wrongdoing. But of course, if there's less suggestive wrongdoing, there's also less justification for the FBI to have taken the extreme step of investigating a presidential campaign. All right, so I'm going to let you, I put that article, I'm going to put it in the chat one more time. I'm telling you, read this article. It's fascinating. I've read the whole thing. They're going to go into the insinuendo. They did the same thing with Carter's Page, made all kinds of dubious claims. But it's a pretty long article, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But right click and save that in a bookmark. Bookmark that. It's a fascinating article. There's also another article in Real Clear Investigations right now that just came up, and it's the top story right now about CrowdStrike. And I was telling you, this, it's interesting. Oh, that's the wrong one. And the wrap. Oh, what happened there? I clicked the CrowdStrike article. Oh man, it's not there. Huh? It's a different. You're getting a different article than what I clicked. Did they take it down? Where's here? Let's see if we can find it here. What's it called? Let's see. CrowdStrike. How Mueller's own report undercuts its core Russian meddling claims. Anyway, it's by. It's an article by. What's his name? Matei. Huh. Okay, so this is showing a bunch of different... Well, we might have to find that one for another day. If you're not familiar, here's the deal. If you didn't know, the Mueller team and the FBI has never, not once, never touched the DNC servers that were supposedly hacked. Now, there's a couple things about that. So what happened is the Democrats hired a contractor, and the contractor, named CrowdStrike, is the team that said the Russians hacked the DNC servers. The FBI's never investigated the servers themselves. The DNC contractor gave them information. Now, when they gave them the information that that they say shows that they instead of examining the servers themselves, you have the NSA, the whole NSA, the whole FBI have never seen those servers. And so the question is, okay, do you take someone that the Democrats were paying for and just take their word for it, or should you examine those servers yourself? But the DNC wouldn't allow them to do it. Also, the information they gave had some of the information redacted. Now, CrowdStrike has its own checkered past because it supposedly had information on Russian hacking information from the Ukraine that turned out to be false from some of the same players that that they basically they have a checkered past as it is. Gosh darn it, where is that article? I'm really bummed. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. Let's see. Hang on. Give me a second here. Maybe I can find it. It seems to have been disappeared. The link, let me check this link, because the link, okay, so this CrowdStrike out. I'm going to click the link. It's directing you to a completely different link. Huh. Well, a lot about Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, well, that's fascinating. I don't know if that may be just a genuine error, or who knows what it may be. But the link is directing me to something else completely. So we're going to have to see if we can find that article another time. So anyway, all right. Enough of that. Hey, let's do, you know what? I didn't think I was going to be able to get the Twitter trends, but let's just check it out real quick and see what's going on the old Twitters today. Let's get to the homepage here. Trending. So number one trending, as we talked about earlier, H. Ross Perot. Sorry, let me get this on screen. Apparently, H. Ross Perot has passed away. If you're not familiar with Ross Perot, he's a billionaire, two-time presidential candidate, has died at age 89. Let's see if there's a memoriam here. The Texas billionaire died of leukemia. Family spokesman says he passed away. Self-made billionaire who ran for president in 1992 and 1996 has died at age 89. In fact, a lot of people think he's the reason George H.W. Bush lost the presidency in 92 to Bill Clinton. He did take some votes away from Bush, I'm sure. I'm sure he took some votes away from Clinton, too. He was a compelling dude. He was a funny dude. If you're not old enough to remember those days, it was interesting. He rose from the Depression-era poverty to become one of the nation's richest men as the founder of computer services giant Electronic Data Systems Corp. Perot drew nearly 19% of the vote in the 1992 presidential election. Anyway, so let's see. With deep sadness, I'm letting you know that Mr. Perot passed away early Tuesday at his home, surrounded by his family. Mr. Perot was a true patriot and a dedicated humanitarian. He will be missed greatly. In lieu of flowers, the family asks that memorial contributions be made to one of Mr. Perot's favorite charities. Information regarding those charities can be found on a website the family created, rossperot.com. Family and friends and associates are encouraged to honor Mr. Perot's memory by continuing to support his commitment to these organizations. Circle 10 Council of the Boy Scouts of America, Perot Museum of Nature and Science, North Texas Flood Bank, Salvation Army DFW, Teach for America, Dallas-Fort Worth, University of Texas, Southwestern Medical University Center, and Visiting Nurse Association of Dallas. So rest in peace, Ross Perot. You were always entertaining, especially as a presidential candidate. So here we go. Moving on, trending number 2 right now, Tuesday Thoughts, as opposed to Tuesday Thoughts. Let's just get one thought of the day. Let's see. We'll look at the top thought and one thought of the day. Top thought right now is this could be the thought of the day too. In difficult career decisions, don't fool yourself into thinking your job is to choose the objectively better option. Don't ask whether Harvard is better than Stanford or McKinsey is better than Bain. Ask which place is a better fit for you, for your values and goals. Tuesday Thoughts. That's a great thing. You know, if you have kids and they're trying to choose a school, it's interesting because now my son had a unique situation because he had a couple basketball scholarship offers, but he also had a couple of very high academic schools recruiting him, not just to play basketball, but just to be a student there, the University of Chicago and the University of St. Thomas. And so as we went on some official visits for these schools, and the basketball scholarship schools were the Division II schools, and the non-basketball scholarship schools were Division III schools. And there's kind of a prestige when you play basketball of getting a scholarship to play basketball. But my son was having a really hard time because I don't think he really cared for the Division II schools we visited. He kind of liked the University of Chicago, and that would have been very prestigious place for him to go and be a student because it's one of the great universities in the country. And then he had St. Thomas, a really nice school here in the Twin Cities, and he was hemming and hawing. And I was like, okay, now I'm thinking when I'm talking to him, I'm thinking, okay, was he concerned about the fact that he could get a basketball scholarship to this school A and B, and he wouldn't get a basketball scholarship at the University of Chicago or St. Thomas. And I'm like, well, and so I asked him this question. Here's the question I asked, and it kind of related to this top thought. My question to him was, if there were no basketball, which school would you go to? And he immediately said, University of St. Thomas. because I said, well, why? Well, it's a good academic school, but Chicago, everyone seemed a little too cerebral, and he, just didn't like the vibe there, and he felt best at the school, and he felt like, when he finished school, that would be the place where he'd have the best networking opportunities, blah, 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 blah. He had all these reasons. I said, well, then you've already chosen which school you're going to. We'll worry about the money when that comes up. Now, fortunately, thank God, he got an academic scholarship that paid his tuition, but whatever. Don't make the decisions in your life based on, well, which would look better, this is better than that, so I'm going to choose this over that, I'm going to choose this over that. No. Which is the best fit for your values and your goals? And that is a perfect Tuesday thought. I really like that. I'm not even going to do any more. Oh, you know what? By the way, I didn't mention this, and Ted Lieu is correct here. I am going to agree with Ted Lieu for the first time in a long time regarding the Jeffrey Epstein deal. He agrees. I agree with the Miami Herald that Donald Trump's labor secretary Acosta should resign. I agree with that. I'm kind of curious though, and because Acosta is the one who got him that sweetheart stay out of jail, or not stay out of jail, but go to jail but get 12-hour days of work release, 5 days a week, so he could go spend it in his posh ass office. Now though, knowing that Jeffrey Epstein had a deal with the FBI for that Bear Stearns thing. Now there's a whole bunch of people I have questions for. I have a bunch of questions. Now, not Jim Acosta. What's his name? Secretary. What the hell's? What's his name? Damn it! Here, let's look on this Hill article. His name is not Jim Acosta. That's the reporter. Alexander Acosta. No relation. No relation to Jim Acosta. Alexander Acosta should resign, but I want to hear from Mueller on this case now. What was the FBI's deal? Yeah, both Acosta should resign. I'd hear you. I want to know what the FBI's deal was that made Acosta give him this sweetheart deal. I'm just curious. All right, let's move on because I only got a few more minutes left. Let's see. Number 3. Oh, Cow Appreciation Day. What? Say it's cow. This has got to be something to do. All right. Before I click this, here's my prediction. Something related to Chick-fil-A is going to show up on the first page of this particular thing on Cow Appreciation Day. All right, clicking. Here we go. Number 1. It is Cow Appreciation Day, baby. Chick-fil-A's 5 points of cowism. T, total deliciousness. U, unconditional refreshment. L, limited opening, closed on Sundays. I, irresistible waffle fries. I'm not a fan of Chick-fil-A's waffle fries. I love the sandwiches, but the waffle fries, they never cook them like crispy enough. They're always kind of soft. I like crispy waffle fries. P, pleasure is there. So tulip. I don't know why. Cow Appreciation Day ain't celebrated in the Green New Deal, folks. Cow farts are the enemy of the people. Did Chick-fil-A come up with this? I heard it through the grapevine. It's Cow Appreciation Day. Maybe, no, there are actual Cow Appreciation Day things going on here. It's Cow Appreciation Day. Share pictures of cows. Moo at your colleagues. Celebrate the glory of these large domesticated ungulates. Moo. It's cow. Look at that cow right there. That's a lovely cow. My sister, when I was a kid, we moved out kind of outside of town. My parents built a house out there. I'll tell you that story sometime. It's an interesting story, and it's a story of the reason I like to talk about when people start talking about redlining and all that bullshit. I like to talk about my parents' experience because my parents actually lived in a time when people steered them away from open houses because they were a black family. And so, when people talk about being discriminated today, and especially after being in the mortgage business for as long as I was, y'all are stupid. You have no idea what discrimination is in housing, because you didn't live through it. I lived at a time when my parents were going through it. You did not. I listened to my mother's stories, and actually my parents, well, I'll tell you, it's a great story of overcoming discrimination, which was it's been a theme in the family I grew up in for a long time. I told you my grandfather got his law degree during the Great Depression, a black man getting a law degree during the Great Depression. Anyway, we'll get back to that. But I digress. It's Cow Appreciation Day, people. Cow Appreciation Day. So go moo at a colleague. What the hell is that? Some furry thing. Okay, so Cow Appreciation Day. Before I was adopted, I lived on a dairy farm. Isn't that weird? Before I was adopted, I lived on my foster home was I don't know, it was a dairy farm, but there were some dairy cows on that farm. I remember that because I remember going in the cow barn every once in a while when I was little, and I remember there was this one fence that I was not supposed to go near, and I knew I wasn't supposed to go near it. And one day, for some reason, I'm like 3 years old. Why I remember this? Well, I remember because it was traumatic. I remember that I walked up to that fence and I was standing by the fence, kind of looking for the cows, and all of a sudden, this bull is charging at me, and it's not going to go through the fence, but it's charging up to the fence, just right up to the fence. I remember I fell down on my butt looking at this bull, and the bull's just standing there staring at me. I'm like, that's weird. Anyway, Cow Appreciation Day, people. Moving on. Number 5, Amy McGrath. Oh yes, Amy McGrath. Marine vet Amy McGrath challenged Mitch McConnell for U.S. Senate seat in Kentucky. All I can say about Amy McGrath is good luck to you. A retired Marine lieutenant colonel and combat pilot announced that she's challenging Mitch McConnell for his Senate seat. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. When you look at the dollars that go into campaigns over this next cycle, watch the Kentucky Senate race. The Democrats are going to be pouring tons of money into this race. Mitch McConnell is a fundraising savant. I got a feeling that that's going to be the biggest funded Senate race in history. I'm just making that prediction right now. The Democrats would love to get rid of McConnell. McConnell's a fundraising savant. It's gonna be insane, and but I don't think McConnell's going anywhere. You never know, but I doubt it. Thank goodness Amy McGrath has finally decided to run in Kentucky. No brags, no bombast. This woman is a leader who knows what service means. I don't know anything about Amy McGrath. Let's see here. Let's take a quick look at the article. Just to see if I can get a little bio on her. Kentucky Democrat Amy McGrath, a former fighter pilot who rose to national prominence last year in her failed campaign for Congress against Republican Andy Barr, is turning her sights on a new target, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. So she... It's fascinating. She failed... She rose to national prominence last year. Has anyone heard her name? If you're not from Kentucky or maybe Southern Ohio or something, because you get Kentucky TV stations. I've never heard of this woman. She failed in a campaign for Congress, but now she's going to try to run for the Senate. I'm running for the Senate because it shouldn't be like this. Okay. The candidacy marks a significant recruiting coup for Democrats. She emerges as an unlikely fundraising juggernaut. Well, she's a fundraising juggernaut because... bringing in millions of dollars after her campaign released a biographical video that went viral and becoming a Democratic celebrity in the process. She hasn't been she lost the race, oh my God. I think she's going to be the next. Yeah, there you go. Necro, exactly. Look at Beto. He lost the text rate. He's just blowing up. She's the next Beto O'Rourke, I think. Although I doubt, I'm pretty sure, I'm not even pretty sure. I'm confident that she's not as dumb as Beto O'Rourke. I'm pretty sure she's got it together, but that's a tall task beating Mitch McConnell. Even if he weren't, the fact that he's a Senate Majority Leader for the Republicans, that his fundraising abilities are just ridiculous. Plus, if you're in a state with this, it's hard to defeat an incumbent who has a committee power in either house. It just is. So, I don't have any ill will for Amy McGrath, but good luck to her. She's not going to win. All right, moving on. Let's see. Let's get a couple more. And we already talked about Tom Steyer announcing his 20 presidential bid. Ditch Mitch, that's a popular one. Okay. My age in 5 words. My age in 5 words. I was born, Nixon resigned. Okay. Too old for Jeffrey Epstein. TV after school was great. My age, I got to think about that. You can start. Can you start mine, please? I don't know what that is. It's a friendship bracelet? I don't know. My age of 5 words, played these every single day. My age, Disney's era of underappreciated films. Okay, so anyway, okay, that's way more than 5 words. Being bored with no internet. Oh, I was never bored. I didn't have internet when I was growing up. And guess what? Dude, we were never bored. We went outside every day. My friends in the neighborhood, we had kids. We would play baseball in the summer. We'd play football in the fall. We'd play basketball, tennis. We would go there. Of course, there was still. We were kind of we weren't rural, but we were on the edge town, so there was places where we could go. A lot of us had motorcycles, like little mini motorcycles we rode around on, or even just bicycles. We would bicycle everywhere. Me and my friends, man, we were never bored. It was like, okay, especially in the summer. Summer come around, sunlight came up. Okay, who are we gonna call? Which friends are we gonna get? Where are we gonna go? Who can we get to play baseball? Can our side of the neighborhood play the neighborhood over the hill in baseball? Can we go do this? Can we climb a house? Can we, play in the houses they were building? Would we build jumps and jumps our bikes over them? Man, my age says, let's see, we were never bored ever. That would be my age in 5 words. We were never bored. We always found friends to do shit. Anyway. All right, Seth Rich is trending number 9. We know why Seth Rich is trending. And Risk. Serena Williams battles past Allison Risk into the women's semifinals. Good for Serena. Straight. It wasn't straight sets though. She had to do a little work. Unseated Allison Risk. I don't know why Risk or Serena, either one. They're trending together. Tomorrow's a very special day, P-Dog Night. Is it your birthday tomorrow, Necro? Just curious. Steve Ducey is trending. Oh, I'm sure that's because, you know what? Anytime. Okay. That has to do with the Seth Rich case. Real Donald Trump. I agree with President. The Supreme Court got it wrong. There should be a question about citizenship on the census. AG Barr sees a pathway to add citizenship question. Steve Ducey, Fox Rich, working hard on something that should be so easy. People are fed up. Oh, you know what? So yeah, they're bitching because this is Oliver Darcy. Oliver, I'm curious if you ever released some emails that you were talking about from that dude in the police department. You mentioned something about that a long time ago. I don't think you ever did that. A preemptive happy escape from the womb, Dave. All right. Hey, awesome. We'll make sure somebody sings happy birthday to you. It might have to be me. I'll sing happy birthday. Anyway. Okay, so Steve Ducey's trending just because Trump mentioned him, so Steve Ducey's trending. All right, moving on. Cuphead Cuphead is getting a new animated show on Netflix. Okay. Show based on a game. That's cool, though. Go ahead. Happy birthday, San. Who the hell's San? It should be Happy Birthday, Necro. Happy birthday, San. Okay, some K-pop. Oh, my God. Some K-pop, whatever. I don't need that. I don't care. Floyd. Rest in peace to Floyd Mayweather's ankles. Uh-oh. What did Floyd do? Floyd was playing some basketball, and apparently... Oh, damn! Hold up.
You don't have to do this to yourself.
Here, hold up. Let's expand this. Let's watch. Okay, if you're familiar with the term getting your ankles broken in basketball. Here, let me. Come on. Oh my god. Come on. What the hell? Let me get back. Okay, everyone's breaking on Floyd, but I can't. I can't. There we go. Let's see. Why expand? Oh my god, he got. Anyway, did y'all see that? He got torn up. That's why Floyd is trending, because he got his ankles broke really bad. Here we go, right here. Look, watch. Oh! It must be the celebrity game before the All-Star game or something. I don't know what it is. Does this mean Floyd Mayweather is 50-1 now? That's just, look at this. Oh, he just went, oh my God. Anyway, you can't see it. I'm sorry. Go on Twitter, even if you're not on Twitter, go on Twitter and just hit Floyd Mayweather in the search. You'll find it immediately. He's trending for getting his ankles broken so bad on the basketball court. Red Hat, go Army, Toulouse. I don't care. Oh my gosh, Toulouse's Adriana's dog. Ariana Grande's dog is trending on Twitter. I don't care. Anyway, you know what? That's it. I got to be done. You know what, guys? This has been fun. I still don't have an outro, a proper outro like my old one. But hey, let's see how much people are talking. I'm going to guess that what's the one that's going to move up the highest trending? Seth Rich already has gone down about 5 spots. I got a feeling that the Mitch McConnell thing and the Tom Steyer are going to be up in the top. Mitch McConnell, Amy McGrath thing probably be talked about all day. Who knows if that justice for Elijah trends again today. There's a lot of people talking about it, but it's not showing up on trending. So maybe that the Twitter is only using 2 trending. I don't know. Oh, Red Hat. That's Red Hat. I missed this one. Oh, IBM is buying Red Hat for $34 billion. God dang! What the hell is Red Hat? Whatever Red Hat is, it's being bought by IBM for $34 billion with the B. Holy shnikes, Batman. And I'm still getting a lot of people liking or retweeting or whatever on this thing that I had with Sofane. I think I'm going to tweet Sofane now that nobody's answered my question. Known, meaning you knew, he's known as in known before this moment, and white supremacists of a particular ideology. He may be a racist. He may just, like I said, he may just be a racist asshole who killed somebody, or a random murder because of loud music. No one's telling me which, what, how did you find out about his ideology other than he killed a black kid? That's my question. I'm not saying that he's not a white supremacist. I'm just curious where you got the information from. But lots of people liked, there's a whole story here. Since I didn't get to this, read this story called The White Supremacist Boogeyman. I'm going to put that in the chat. You can right-click it. You can take the time, even though I got to go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great day. I've enjoyed being here on the Morning Night Live. You know that we're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT during this great daylight savings time of the year, whatever GMT is. I know it's Greenwich Mean Time. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't done already, If you haven't already done so, please hit the like button on your way out. Please hit the share on your way out. If you come back because you missed the beginning, share the stream to whoever might be interested. And thank you again for being here. It's so fun being here every day. I appreciate you guys in the chat. I hope you all had a good time. Hello, Duck Dog. I didn't see you till now. Evil One, I don't know if I saw you till now. Cynical Lindsay, oh my gosh, I missed all kinds of people today. Check your logic. All y'all showed up. I thank you for coming. And then also, if you'd like to support the stream or support what we do here, I also do take donations and super chats in the Streamlabs link in the box down below. But that's all for today, guys. I gotta go. The outro free Morning Night Live. My name is P Dog Knight, and I am out of here.